take a look at these words. What vowel sound do they all have in common? The oi sound. Avoid, voice, employ, royal. So if you've ever had trouble with words like these with the oi sound, you might be missing one important physical step. So in this lesson, we're going to learn the physical movements of the oi sound so you can pronounce words like these more clearly. The oi sound is a vowel sound known as a diphthong. And a diphthong is a gliding vowel sound where you're blending two vowel sounds together within the same syllable. So in this case, O plus E. So basically two vowel sounds working together as one. O and E, oi, oi. Now, when I hear this sound, just the sound by itself, oi, sometimes I think of my grandmother. She used to say the sound whenever she felt pain. That was her reaction to this, oi. She was Polish. She and my grandfather immigrated to the U.S. from Ukraine after World War II. And they learned English, but they still spoke their native language at home, as many people do. But in her later years, she developed some arthritis in her hips. And whenever she'd get up from sitting, she'd stand up, she'd say, oi, oi. And fortunately, she was able to get a hip surgery and she was better. But whenever she felt pain, she would say, oi. Now, in American English, what do we say? Ow, ow or ouch. So ow is actually a diphthong as well, ah and o, ow. But that's for another lesson. I think oi is a sound that many of you are probably familiar with, although there may be some variation in the way that you've heard it or used it, especially in words. You might have seen this symbol, you might have seen this one more, and this is where the mouth is a little bit open more. It's a little more of a, instead of, so you might hear more of a oi, rather than an oi. So it's the second one that I teach more, and I use this symbol. This is more of a distinct glide from O to E, and it's actually how we say it more in American English. But if you have a preference, if you like more of the oi, that's fine. It's really how you want to sound. It's who your listeners are, your environment. Okay, one way is not better than the other. So it's just, you choose the one that you prefer most. So today I'll be going over the American English form of oi. So for oi, you're going to start in the back of the throat. It's the mid-back vowel. You're going to start with O. Tongue in the back is going to be raised just a little bit. At the same time, your lips are going to be rounded. O. And very smoothly, you're going to go from O, and then the front of the tongue is going to rise to E. And your lips are going to kind of widen a little bit into a kind of a smile. Again, tongue to the high front E portion. Oi, oi. Very smoothly, very quickly, oi, oi. If you really want to practice this, over exaggerate your lips, you can go oi, oi, oi. Sometimes you feel kind of silly doing that, but it really helps you feel the movements. It helps your muscles around your lips and your face become accustomed to those movements. And that's really what we're looking for. We want to do this naturally and easily. Now, there's not a lot of words that begin with this sound. Okay, a few common ones you might hear are oyster, oyster, oil, oil. And don't forget the dark L at the end. Take the tip of your tongue, anchor it top behind the front teeth. Oil, oil. And then ointment, ointment. Now we're going to continue and practice some words where oi is in the middle part of the word. So listen and repeat aloud for practice. Coin, voice, choice, noise. Now notice the S sounds like a Z in this word, noise, and noisy. Avoid, rejoice, point, join, boil, it rhymes with oil, loyal, spoil, and spoiled, soil. Now we have oi at the end of words. Boy. Now I just want to make a quick note. If you happen to use the more of the open with oi, the problem with that and boy is that they might sound the same. Boy might sound like this word, buy. So if you say boy and buy, they might sound very close. So just keep that in mind. Boy, joy, toy, enjoy, annoy, destroy, employ, employee. You just add the E at the end. It's like a second E. Employ and then E. Employee. I am an employee. Now let's try a few sentences. Number 1, the noisy toy was annoying. I'll give you a lot of practice with oi. Number 2, don't spoil my joy. Number 3, boil the oysters in oil. A lot of L's here. Boil the oysters in oil. Number 4, join the royal convoy. All right, well done. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you'd like to go deeper with pronunciation, practical application, and get direct feedback, you can check out the link to my pronunciation pathway below, or you can get started with a free masterclass where I go through all the sounds and some important speech patterns of English. As always, happy learning.